Well, a city that had come together to celebrate a team, a triumph, and a moment of pride has instead been left grieving the unimaginable. So this morning, as I mentioned, we don't just ask how this happened, we ask why it wasn't prevented. But the frenzied celebration in Bengaluru of RCB winning the IPL after 18 long years, it took a tragic turn with at least 11 people feared dead in a stampede, and the chaos began after a crowd gathered near Chinnaswamy Stadium for a felicitation of the team held by the Karnataka State Cricket Association. Many people who came to watch the celebrations fainted amid the stampede. This is what eyewitnesses have said. Meanwhile, the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar said that the crowd was uncontrollable. 2 of the 11 people died during another frenzied crush on the premises of the Vidhan Saudha, where the RCB squad proceeded from the airport to meet with Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. We've lined up reactions from eyewitnesses for you. Listen in, followed by Nihal Kidwai's ground report.
बहुत ज़्यादा भीड़ था, बहुत ज़्यादा भीड़ था, रश था, सब तरफ आदमी चढ़ रहे थे एक दूसरे के ऊपर। तो पुलिस ने फिर भी काफ़ी अच्छा काम किया, पर संभाला, फिर भी भीड़ कंट्रोल नहीं हो पा रहे थे।
आप किधर थे जब ये स्टैम्पीड हुआ? आपने देखा कुछ?
इतना तो कुछ देखा नहीं, बस एम्बुलेंस आ रहे थे तो रास्ता क्लियर सब कर रहे थे।
एम्बुलेंस को अंदर जाना था, वो लोग उधर गेट के आगे से हट नहीं रहे थे।
किधर?
जो
चिन्नास्वामी के पास
स्टेडियम का गेट था ना, उधर से लोग हट नहीं रहे थे। तो मतलब लोगों को हटाने के लिए पुलिस ने थोड़ा कुछ लाठीचार्ज कुछ स्टार्ट किया शायद। मैंने जब तक देखा वहाँ तक, तो लाठीचार्ज स्टार्ट करने से वो लोग थोड़े भाग गए उधर। तो भाग दौड़ में शायद कुछ हुआ है, किसको लगा किसको नहीं लगा। हम लोग थोड़े दूर खड़े थे उससे। मतलब
पुलिस ने अपना अच्छा काम किया था, लेकिन पुलिस से बात को सुन रहे नहीं थे, बस वही दिक्कत था।
To be honest, we got down near Vidhan Saudha. We tried to get in there. There was a lot of traffic. We couldn't do anything there. So we walked towards the stadium. We had our passes, but to be honest, because of the crowd, we couldn't get in. Okay. So we had to walk back.
Where you were, did you feel anywhere unsafe? Was the crowd behaving unruly at that point? Was there enough police to manage the situation?
To be honest, we couldn't even get into the stadium because the crowd was so much. Police were around, but I'm pretty sure even they couldn't handle it. There were a lot of people. Pretty sure they tried their best, but nobody could handle it. There were a lot of people.
The crowd, it is too much now today.
Now, yes, it was time for celebrations, but right now 11 people have lost their lives is what we're picking up. Of course, as RCB fans, this is not something that we would have wanted.
Yeah, that is not sure about, we are not sure as of now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we tried there, but we couldn't go, even though we had passes.
I'm sure we couldn't do much. ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಇವಾಗ ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರು ಬಂದಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೋದ್ರು. ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ರು ಸಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್, ಇವತ್ತೇ ಬೇಕು, ಇವತ್ತೇ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಳೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಮ್ ಏನು ಬೇಡ ಸರ್, ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು, ಅದೊಂದು ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲಗಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ನಿಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ನಾವು 1 ಅವರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನು ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಗನ ಸಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, 22 ವರ್ಷ ಅವನಿಗೆ ತುತ್ತು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಸಾಕಿ, ಇವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಧೋರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೀದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಣ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನನಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ದೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನನ್ನು ಇವಾಗನೇ ನನಗೊಂಚೂರು ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ. ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತೆ, ಬರೋದು ಹೋಗೋದು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೋಟಿ ಜನಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನನಗೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
These sleepers show the magnitude of the tragedy. So many people have lost their lives. Many of them are critical, and some of them are still battling for life. This is gate number 19 of Chinnaswamy Stadium, and this is one of the 4 spots where the stampede had happened. The question is that why did it happen? Camera person Nagaraju, once he pans the camera towards his left, you see a stand P3 annexed. It is written here, and this is the ticket counter. Fans had assembled here. They were in queue since 10 a.m. in the morning, and it was a huge long queue of about 2 to 2.5 kilometers. All the fans were here. Suddenly it was announced that now tickets will be given, and at that stage those people who were standing here outside the barricade, they jumped upon them. Not only this, from there the Karnataka State Reserve Police Force van, you can see on your screen, From there also thousands of people attempted to reach this place, and this is how the stampede happened. Now the Chief Minister has said that he had not expected so many fans would assemble here, but the question is that when the final had happened the previous night, then throughout the night celebrations were happening across Bengaluru and the state as well, and it was a difficult time for the police to control them. Police took 4 to 6 hours to control them. So it was expected, and that is why when it was decided that a mega show will be happened and there will be a victory march, police insisted that this should not happen. It will lead to a big tragedy. Somehow police personnel and officials managed to convince the Home Minister and the Chief Minister and other higher officials that the victory march should not be allowed. So around afternoon it was decided that there won't be any victory march. So police had expressed inability that at a short notice they cannot manage the crowd, and police was very categorical about it. Finally the Home Minister had announced that there won't be any victory march. This stampede has happened, and Chief Minister has ordered for the magisterial inquiry. After the magisterial inquiry we have to see who is going to be blamed. But in such cases we have seen in the past that government, top officials and those who had insisted on such programs, they have never been held responsible. It is something that the government should learn from this incident so that this could be stopped in future. With camera person Nagraju, Nihal Khidwai for NDTV.
Well, a morning of mourning at what was supposed to be a stadium of celebration. My colleagues Deepak Bopanna and Haripriya have been tracking all the latest developments along with Nihal Khidwai for us. Let's go across to Haripriya, who joins us from outside the hospital at the moment first. Haripriya, give us the official tally of the dead and injured as of this morning, and has the condition of any of the injured worsened overnight?
Right. Hi. So the tally remains the same as yesterday. 7 announced dead and about 14 to 15 injured at this particular hospital here. I am standing outside the mortuary at the Boring House Hospital. What we know as of now is the post-mortem. All the post-mortem procedures have been concluded from here, and yesterday when we spoke to people around here, we also we heard that some of them have sustained minor injuries, while there are particular cases that have a higher impact here, and one of the cases has been shifted to Nimans, that has had that's a serious head injury that has happened, but other cases remain minors as of now, and the post-mortem procedures are done. We will stay here and track more on what's happening today.
Right. Also, Haripriya, what are you hearing from the families waiting inside? Are they receiving support from local authorities, the government?
Right now they are in heavy distress. I spoke to some of them yesterday and in the morning today here. It's for them it's not about support, it's not about what government is doing right now. They are just hanging by the thread that the people that they love, that they are inside, are okay right now. So they're just concerned about what the hospital authority is doing, and there has been reaffirmation from the government in terms of the swarm of politicians that walked in here yesterday and took the stock of the situation. There were also parents of the children that were injured that was speaking to Siddaramaiah and telling him about how they're feeling, and also there's also some amount of effort made from the politicians who came here yesterday. But right now the situation is pretty bleak for all the loved ones that are waiting here for their people to get back.
Right. In fact, let's get in a latest update from Deepak as well. Deepak, we've seen ambulances stuck, people being carried by hand, many unanswered questions at this stage. But are local police officers, civic heads accepting any operational failure on their part this morning? We're also hearing that lawyers have now written to officials.
Well, it was a day for celebration. It was a day for the trophy to come to Bengaluru and the RCB fans to have a gala time. But a pall of gloom has descended since last evening, ever since, the official numbers of the people who lost their lives came to the fore. As far as anybody taking responsibility, the Chief Minister himself has spoken, isn't it? Now, for the police to counter his statement or agree to his statement, that hasn't happened. We really have to see after this particular statement that has been made by the Chief Minister, two important aspects that he spoke about. He said, well, the people that came in were much more than they expected, to which the counter from the opposition has been, well, you have your intelligence, you know the kind of celebrations that happened the previous night, but you should have assumed that there would be enough number of people. Then, there was also another aspect that we learned from people who were there, from the police who were deployed in Chinnaswamy, that all of a sudden people were allowed to enter free of cost. That created a frenzy. They were funneled into a small gate, which led to that stampede sort of a situation. So, many things led to this tragedy. Right now, of course, the focus is on ensuring the best treatment is being given to the people who are injured. The government has promised that they're going to do this free of cost. There's compensation being announced, but of course, a life loss is a life loss. No amount of money can really compensate that, can it? Meanwhile, you were talking about, things happening in court as well. Yes, an activist and a lawyer, Girish Bharadwaj, has now written to the Chief Justice of Karnataka. He's asked the Chief Justice, in fact, the acting Chief Justice, to take suo motu cognizance of the stampede, considering everything that has happened. A magisterial inquiry has already been ordered by the government. We really have to see whether the acting Chief Justice will take cognizance of this letter and then take up this matter even, which is a high possibility considering this, of course, is a matter of grave concern. This is a place where people came to celebrate and eventually lost their lives. So definitely an uncalled for incident. We'll really have to see how things develop over the course of the next 24 hours.
Right, Deepak, another thing under focus is now the free entry decision. What does the police version say about this free entry decision? Did this actually override the earlier system of issuing passes leading to this tragedy?
Well, I wouldn't really say that because, the number of people who had gathered there, it was really impossible to control the crowd, and the ticketing system really didn't work because there was hardly any time. People were celebrating late into the night. The announcement of, this event happening in Chinnaswamy came in very late. There was a lot of dilly-dallying about whether there will be an open bus parade or not. And by the time the decision was made that the event is going to happen at Chinnaswamy Stadium, the number of people that had turned up there was quite massive. And when you have that kind of a crowd that turns up and waiting outside the gates, then to really go through the entire process of having a ticket, checking for that becomes nearly impossible. And probably that's why they decided that they'll let as many people as they can inside to ease the crowds on the roads at least. But during that time, the crowds also had the responsibility of ensuring that they maintain some level of decorum. We saw, a frenzy of sorts in the crowds as well. Yes, it was a moment to celebrate. They could have, of course, behaved a little more responsibility is what my understanding is, where in multiple locations that I was in, we saw the crowds getting agitated at certain points. We saw some of them, of course, really not maintaining that decorum which was required from them. So there are, layers and layers into what really led to the stampede. Yes, the government could have anticipated all this because they know when such huge crowds turn up, there are going to be different sorts of people that come in, many people who may not follow the rules. That's why police deployment needs to be quite heavy to ensure that if there are any people who are trying to break the rules, they can be contained. But, there were two different locations that police had to be deployed in. This also ensured that, or rather led to the police force getting divided. And at the Chinnaswamy, the police force not being as much as probably at the Vidhan Sauda, where most of the VIPs were, including the players initially. So, many question marks do come up.
As always, Deepak, though, thank you so much for joining us with the latest information and clarifying the details from Ground Zero. Meanwhile, we have a reaction as well from the IPL chairman. He said officials who were inside a stadium in Bengaluru during this victory celebrations were not aware what was happening outside. These are the words of IPL chairman Arun Dhumal, hours after 11 people were killed in this stampede outside Chinnaswamy Stadium. Mr. Dhumal sought to know who organised the Bengaluru event, as the celebrations already happened in Ahmedabad on Tuesday, and for the BCCI, the IPL also ended on Tuesday. Now, to quote Mr. Dhumal, he said, "We spoke to the management when we got to know about the situation, and they assured that they will finish the ceremony quickly. This is definitely sad and tragic. RCB officials assured me that they will wind up the celebrations now." So he said the officials did not know a tragedy had struck the fans outside the stadium.
निश्चित तौर पर जहां हम इस घटना के बारे में हमें बहुत ज्यादा दुख है, लेकिन वो कहते हैं कि ना, जैसे जब भी ऐसी कोई दुर्घटना हो, यू हैव टू लर्न योर लेसन्स। तो हमने वो सीखा है और हमने कोशिश करेंगे कि आगे से जब भी ऐसा कोई कार्यक्रम आयोजित होना हो, चाहे बीसीसीआई के परव्यू में होना, आउटसाइड ऑफ इट होना हो, हम उसके बारे में सबको सेंसिटाइज कर सकें ताकि ऐसी दुर्घटना भविष्य में कभी भी ना हो। इस बात को हम निश्चित तौर पर सुनिश्चित करेंगे। इस चुनौतीपूर्ण समय में हमने जिस तरीके से इस कार्यक्रम पूरे टूर्नामेंट का आयोजन किया, कोविड में किया, कभी ऐसी दुर्घटना हुई नहीं। बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और पूरी बीसीसीआई को इस बात का बहुत दुख है। लेकिन जैसा मैंने कहा, इससे सबको सबक लेने की जरूरत है कि इतना बड़ा अगर फैन बेस हुआ है, तो आगे कभी भी ऐसा कोई कार्यक्रम आयोजित करना हो तो ऐसी कोई दुर्घटना फिर से ना हो, इस बात को हमें सुनिश्चित करना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, Virat Kohli, who has been the face of RCB and played a crucial part in its title win, has now reacted to the incident. He's written on Instagram at around 10:45 p.m. while reposting a statement by RCB that he's at a loss for words. He's absolutely gutted. That's Virat Kohli's reaction after this tragic news surfaced. Well, as we piece together the events that led to yesterday's tragedy in Bengaluru, one question echoes across the city. Was this avoidable? Well, joining us now, Bangalore resident Madan Padaki, president of TI Bengaluru as well. Thank you so much for making time for us on NDTV. Were you at the stadium, sir, when this took place? I mean, 18 years of waiting, it's instead ended in fear, chaos, loss. What do you feel this morning, sir?
Totally at a loss of words. The brightest night in a matter of a few hours turned to a darkest evening in the history of the city. Totally stunned, shocked, how the whole pendulum can swing. I was not in the stadium. I was in the vicinity of the stadium for some meetings and was able to see the flow of people coming into to the main central business district, which was kind of appalling in terms of the number of people who were descending into the city. It was kind of evident also from the previous night celebrations. The city, every locality, even the locality I live in, there was dancing. People were on the streets till 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. So the frenzy in a way of the celebrations that the city was very spontaneously getting into was apparent. So your question about what could we have done, I think there are, as your folks and reporters have also been saying, there are two layers to it. One, I think the crowds itself, especially when people have been queuing up from 10 a.m., the whole announcements that, tickets, passes, etc. I think it would have been, it would have taken a lot of courage to get there amidst the crowds. That's one part. The second part is perhaps with the frenzy that we saw that the previous evening, even if the celebrations were delayed by a few days, we could have done it maybe 4 or 5 a week later. It could have been probably planned much better.
When you say this wasn't just a stampede, it was actually a system failure. But sir, what would you say to those in charge today? What's your message to the government, the police, the cricket authorities right now?
I think one is, of course, to understand why this happened and what could have prevented it. Two, I think this must be the last time that our city or any city in India witnesses something like this, we must learn our lessons from this. We must put very strong SOPs in place for any celebrations of this sort and make sure that such a dark hour never ever, revisits us anytime in the future.
Well, sir, thank you so much for joining us with your views on NDTV this morning. Many say this tragedy changes their relationship with public events in Bengaluru, but we will, of course, keep in touch with you for regular updates. However, following the stampede near the Chinnaswamy Stadium, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has said that he would not justify the mishap by drawing comparisons with similar tragedies elsewhere, like in the Kumbh Mela. Speaking to the media, Mr. Siddaramaiah said that he did not criticize when several people lost their lives in a stampede at the Mahakumbh. To quote him, he said, such incidents happen in so many places. I'm not going to defend this by comparing it with them now, by saying it happened here and there. But in the Kumbh Mela, 50 to 60 people died. I did not criticize it. These are the words of Mr. Siddaramaiah, who further added that if Congress criticizes, then that is a different matter. Did I or the Karnataka government criticize? He was addressing a press conference. The Chief Minister said that the government will also provide free treatment to the injured. He announced a magisterial inquiry, as Deepak Bopanna highlighted, into this incident. And he's also accused the BJP of doing politics over the tragedy. We have reactions from Siddaramaiah, also R. Ashoka and Kishan Reddy lined up for you. Listen in.
ಥರದವು ಅನೇಕ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್ಗಳು ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ನಾನು ನಡೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಥವು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಕಡೆ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಈಗ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಹಿಂದೆ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನ? ಕುಂಭಮೇಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಒಂದು 50-60 ಜನ ಸತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಪೀಡ್.
Just one question that I want to ask you, as we continue to look at 11 people now confirmed dead by the Chief Minister himself, multiple people injured. You met the families of those who are injured. Of course, we heard some of them. They're completely emotional right now. The Chief Minister saying, let the BJP do politics, we'll do our work. What do you have to say?
We don't want politics. BJP told to CM, you done the celebration. We are not told any, you do celebration. Why are you blaming me? You came to a hospital. Just 2 minutes. You went away. I am from last 1 hour I am in the hospital. They want dead bodies. You are not given my son life. You give me early dead body. They are asking. They are crying from last 1 hour.
The family members were saying, please hand over the body as soon as possible.
What you done? I called all the DCs. DGP, Salim, and Dean of Medical College. I telephone. Immediately you have to do. Immediately give the at least body. You are not give the life. At least you give the body. This is the shame to the Congress
the Chief
party.
Minister, while he had a press conference, also said that they didn't expect the kind of crowds that turned up. They thought that 35,000 is a capacity, a little over can come up, but they didn't really expect the kind of crowds that actually came in.
You don't know anything means. Why are you a CM become the CM? You are not expecting, you are not expected crowd. How you become the CM?
सरकार जो कदम उठाना चाहिए उसमें फेल्यूर था. बिल्कुल कर्नाटक सरकार उस पर ध्यान नहीं दिया. उस पर अंदर जाकर प्लेयर के साथ फोटो उतारने में जितने भी ध्यान था, बाहर प्रॉपर सिक्योरिटी देने में कर्नाटक सरकार विफल था. इस पे मैं जो भी देहांत हो गए मैं उनको कंडोलेंस व्यक्त करता हूं, मगर कर्नाटक सरकार इस पे पूरा जांच करना चाहिए और जिम्मेदारी मुख्यमंत्री लेना चाहिए.